The final week of the regular season, Miami on the road at Buffalo. The AFC East, of course, already decided, but who do you have in this one?
I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. I think they travel up to Buffalo and get this win. One thing about the Dolphins that we're seeing is seeing Adam Gase get his team ready to play. They're playing extremely hard, and I think they finish out the season that way.
You think they're motivated to finish out the season?
I think they're motivated.
I'm going to go no. Orchard Park, Buffalo, they're going up. It's going to be cold. Season's ending. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills to win this one.
Some bright spot for Buffalo in the play of their young quarterback, but they'll have to look forward to next season. It's been a disappointing season for Matthew Stafford. He would like to wrap things up. He'll have to do that on the road at Lambeau playing the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. We saw the Packers go to the Jets last week, and it was a tough game for them. Went into overtime, but they willed themselves to win. I think, look, you look at this Packers team, they're out of it, but they're still playing 4 quarters, and Aaron Rodgers still has something to prove.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers, too. I think Aaron Rodgers will lead them. I think he wants to finish strong, give the fans of Lambeau and Green Bay a good image as they hit the offseason. And
Green Bay will then begin its head coaching search in earnest. The New York Jets close out their season at New England, where the Patriots are still trying to secure a first-round bye.
I've been impressed by Sam Darnold and the Jets and how he's played the last 3 weeks, and I think he continues to play well this week. But again, the Patriots need this game. They need to win this football game to have that home field advantage. I think the Pats win this one.
Yeah, they're going to try to keep establishing Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, James White, that power running game, play action for Tom Brady. After that, I'm also going to take the Patriots here.
Look for the Patriots to run, and run again. The road to Atlanta goes through New Orleans, and that's exactly where Carolina will find itself over the weekend.
I like the Saints in there. I mean, we watch the Saints week in and week out, and they find ways to win football games, physical football games, and they continue with that same identity. I think Drew Brees starts this game off, has a place, at least the first half, has a really good first half, and the defense. We have underestimated this defense all season long. I think they step up this week and close out.
And they've locked up the 1 seed. We'll see what Sean Payton's motivation is to have the players play, but I'd like to see Drew Brees play some and solidify his MVP case. So I'll go with the Saints.
I think a lot of people would like to see him put a stamp on what's already been an outstanding season. Like the Saints, the Cowboys are locked in, one of 2 teams locked into their playoff position. So the question, how many folks they start against the Giants?
Not many, Wendy. They're not going to play many guys. They'll rest their starters and Dak and Zeke as far as their offensive players, and even some of the offensive linemen. So I think they rest these guys. The New York Giants come in and finish out the season with a win.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants too. Darren and I both know how this goes. If you don't have the bye week and you're playing on wild card weekend, and this one doesn't matter, you got to use it. Rest those guys that got those bumps and bruises, and moving on to next week.
It's a game that could be the final starting job for Eli Manning in terms of the New York Giants. You can't really blame the play of Matt Ryan, but not the season the Falcons had hoped for. They close out on the road at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you're right. Not the season they hoped for, but they're still offensively they're playing hard. And you've got guys like Julio Jones who will be suited up to play this football game. And he's looking for some yards, looking for some big plays down the field. And Matt Ryan is the guy that's going to provide some of those. The Bucs have struggled in that back end of their secondary, and it continues this week.
I'm agree with you. I'm also going to take the Atlanta Falcons here. How about Deion Jones coming back, making some plays, playing well at the linebacker position? Falcons finish strong.
Bucs will have some questions, including their quarterback question, to answer in the offseason. They were a popular pick at the outset, but Jacksonville, not quite the team to beat this time around. They go to Houston, which in turn surprised some folks.
Yeah, and Houston needs this game. I mean, they're looking to win this football game, and they'll play 4 quarters, and you'll see guys like J.J. Watt and Clowney giving it their all and playing extremely hard. I think the Houston Texans are a team at home that will play extremely well this week. I think they close it out this week and get ready for the playoffs.
I agree with you. I think Blake Bortles is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He'll throw into a couple team meetings, a couple turnovers. I will take the Houston Texans.
Again, another team that will have a quarterback question in the offseason. It's been a tremendous season, but the Chargers still have something to play for as well on the road at Denver.
Yeah, and I like the Chargers in the game. I think they get right back on it. Took a tough loss last week against the Baltimore Ravens, but Phillip Rivers, all the receivers that he has, Keenan Allen, Williams, they have a lot of good receivers, and Melvin Gordon still working his way back from injury. I like the Chargers in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers too. After Week 17, votes for Defensive Rookie of the Year are going to go in, and it's Darius Leonard to me, or it's Derwin James.
Yeah.
Can Derwin James make a few plays to solidify his campaign? We'll see.
We shall see. An interesting year for John Gruden, back on the sidelines for the first time in quite some time. He'll put a stamp on the regular season traveling to Kansas City to play a very good Chiefs team.
Yeah, very good Chiefs team. And we saw Oakland last week, and they celebrated that win that they had last week and possibly their last game of the season in Oakland. And they seem treated it like a Super Bowl. I think that ends this week. I think all the hype and all the things that have gone on this week, the emotions play themselves out. Kansas City at home closes it out with a win.
Agree with you 100%. They'll finish it out strong at home. They'll get the win. Chris Jones, one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game, doesn't get the credit he deserves. I'm giving it to him right now.
Giving it to him right now. And like Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes can make his final push in his campaign for MVP. Certainly a different kind of year for San Francisco after losing their starting quarterback. They finish up with the Los Angeles Rams.
You know, Rams are another team looking to get this win in right now. I mean, and defensively, there's a lot of things that they need to work on as far as the back end of that secondary. I think they shore some of those things up, and Aaron Donald again. I think he has that. I think he gets that 3.5 sacks they're looking for. I think he gets it.
I don't think he gets 3.5. That's going to be tough for him. But what I want to say is kudos to the San Francisco 49ers. You lose your quarterback so early. They've played hard the entire year and been able to squeak out some wins. They've played hard. This is a good team for the future, but this is one they won't win. I'm going with the Rams.
Again, Aaron Donald with a chance to break Michael Strahan's single-season sack record. Chicago is on the road in Minnesota to play a Vikings team with plenty to play for.
Yeah, they do. And the one thing about the Vikings, you've seen them run the ball successfully with Dalvin Cook. Now you're starting to see a lot of the play action come off of that. And the play action breeds, you get Stephon Diggs, you get Thielen in one-on-one matchups, and that's where I think they hurt the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings, too. I want to watch linebacker Anthony Barr dominate this game. I want him to be all over Trubisky if he's spying him or if he has to run him down when he gets out of the pocket, if he's got to cover Tariq Cohen, any of those tight ends. I want to see a linebacker take charge and say, no, we're taking this and we're taking this show onto the playoffs.
The Vikings need a win or an Eagles loss to move on to the postseason. Well, Pittsburgh has let just too many get away, and for that reason, they have to win this game against the Bengals to even have a shot at the postseason.
And I think they do win this game. And guys like Antonio Brown and Juju Smith, they get back on track again as they did last week. They're hot right now, and Ben is finding them in one-on-one matchups. And we all know the Bengals right now are having trouble on the back end of that defense as far as stopping the big plays.
Yeah, and the Steelers' defense, they're great at getting after the quarterback. I'm going to take the Steelers in this one too, Wendy.
Again, the Steelers have to win. They need Cleveland to beat the Ravens in Baltimore to get into the playoffs. It's probably about time for the Cardinals to wrap this one up. No, they're going to try and do that against Seattle on the road.
It's not happening. You know, Seattle, just they understand who they are. They're physically up front. You know, they want to run the ball with Chris Carson and the 3 running back heads that they have. And then, you know, defensively, Bobby Wagner has been playing outside of himself. This defense will continue to get better and better. They're a scary team going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one. There's no way Arizona's going up there and win. The Seattle teams know their direction. They see what they're in. They see the playoffs on the horizon. The Seahawks will win.
He won't win it, but Russell Wilson deserves to at least be in the MVP conversation. He's had an outstanding season. Led by Nick Foles and trying to fight their way in, Philly heads to Washington.
And I still think the Washington Redskins have some fight in them. They'll continue to play hard defensively, but you got to look at this Philadelphia Eagles team right now. Who wants to play them? You know, Nick Foles is playing extremely well. I think Josh Adams, a young running back, he's struggled in the last couple weeks. I think he has a breakout game this week. Philly's a hot team right now, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. I like Philly in this one.
I'll take the Eagles also. The front 7 defensively for the Philadelphia Eagles also are starting to gain some momentum. They'll stop Washington.
Regardless of what you think going forward, this team does rally around Nick Foles.
Yeah, it does.
Well, Baker Mayfield has hopes high in Cleveland for the future, understandably so. Right now, though, they close it out in Baltimore.
Yeah, and this Baltimore team is playing lights out right now, both offensively and defensively. But defensively right now, you look at Terrell Suggs rushing the passer, and then in the back end, you got Weddle and Humphrey and Smith. A lot of veteran football players that are making big-time plays this time of the season.
All year.
Yeah.
All year.
Yeah.
You've been on me about the Browns.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, like the Browns are this, the Browns are that, Baker Mayfield. My son, too, at home. Oh, Dad, when you watch Baker Mayfield, and you're not picking the Browns
I'm not picking this. means something to the Ravens.
I'm picking the Browns
There you
this
go.
it is. I'm picking the Browns here because I've seen the progression of Baker Mayfield. I want to watch Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, that defensive end for the Browns on defense, you got to come up big. He's got to set the edge in that run game because don't think about getting any sacks, okay? Because Lamar's coming with that quarterback power, the quarterback counter. Stop that. Worry about stopping the run. Wendy, I think Greg Williams will have them right.
Come on.
I'm going Baker.
Wow.
I'm going Browns because you taught me about it all year.
The Browns' biggest fan base on Sunday, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there's a good reason for that. The playoffs essentially begin Sunday night because it is win or go home for both of these teams. The Colts and the Titans, what a great way to end it,
Oh, it's
Darren.
going to be a tough one. This is a tough pick right now because both these teams are playing really well at the end of the season. But I got to go with the home team in Tennessee Titans. The way they run the football with Derrick Henry, the way they've come out and figured out ways up front to just dominate people up front. I think they dominate the Colts line up front.
It's a tough team.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans led by a tough man in Mike Vrabel, but I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts here. Marcus Mariota's beat up. All right, Jarrell Casey's on IR. Derrick Henry is playing well, but I've seen that Colt defense lately shut down Zeke and shut out the Cowboys and also stop Saquon Barkley. They're playing well. So I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts this one. I agree with you. This is going to be close. This is a winning move. You're moving on. It's the biggest game, the biggest it can get, but I'm going with Indianapolis.
Huge game. And either way, I think Andrew Luck is your comeback player of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.